Now at 6 o'clock, the expected fallout from the state of Oregon's failed transportation bill. More trash and more homeless camps along city freeways. Also this hour, a last-minute change of plans in Lake Oswego. The city will open Oswego Lake to the public during part of the holiday weekend. So we'll let you know when those public hours are and how pushback from the public led to this change. Plus,
there is no better place to spend a holiday weekend than with your friends.
It is the 4th of July, and that means the annual Waterfront Blues Festival back in downtown Portland. Coming up here at 6:45, we're going to break down everything you need to know about this year's festival and other Independence Day events happening across the area. The 6 o'clock hour of KGW News at Sunrise starts right now. Happy Independence Day. Thanks for joining us this morning on the Sunrise Show. China Green has the morning off. So does Chris McGinnis, but Rod Hill, you cannot keep that man down. He is here, ready to celebrate the 4th and give us that 4th of July forecast.
Yeah, we're still locked in that comfortable zone. So here on the west side, temperatures at the coast, low 60s this afternoon. Maybe only about 75 in Portland. We are dry. We have partly cloudy conditions from the coast to the valley. Here's Snook Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. 47 is the early number. That's cool, right? Here's the Oregon Veterans camera out in the Dalles. If you're traveling out into the Dalles today or the Gorge to do some recreating, partly cloudy skies. And as you move into Wasco County, at least a threat at some point later today, there could be a shower as storms are moving north out of central Oregon. 63 is the number. You saw the northwest winds, breezy to about 23. This is really pretty. The Chehalem tasting room camera out in Sherwood. And again, cloudiness from central Oregon storms. 57 right now. We'll be dry today, kind of a mixed bag of clouds and sun with the storms off to our east. 66 at noon, and there's that comfy high 75. It'll be in the 60s this evening at 10 p.m. for fireworks shows. You might even consider that to be a bit cool. Drew?
All right, Rob, we're going to follow up your forecast here with some breaking news and a traffic alert. A head-on crash has closed the westbound lane of North Columbia at North Interstate. We have Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz live on the scene there. So, Thomas, what can you tell us?
Well, Drew, it's a pretty gory crash, and they just actually a couple of seconds ago pulled away that car that was involved in this head-on crash. Now, fortunately, there are no fatalities involved, though there are at least one injury in this crash that has closed the westbound lane of North Columbia Boulevard. Let's show you some video of what this looked like just a few minutes ago out here. We're at the intersection of North Columbia Boulevard and North Interstate here in Portland. Again, the westbound lane is closed. At least one person, police tell us, has been injured in this crash, and that car, you can see in this footage here, it's very torn up. It's pretty gruesome, but fortunately, again, no fatalities involved. Right now, crews are still cleaning up the westbound lane here of North Columbia Boulevard. It looks like they are making progress, though. Once again, the tow truck has towed away the car involved in this crash. There's a truck also involved that was not nearly as heavily damaged that is still sitting in the westbound lane here on North Columbia Boulevard. We'll keep eyes on that to see how soon it moves, but it does seem like progress is being made. Once again, westbound lane of North Columbia Boulevard is closed. Eastbound is open. We'll see when this westbound is able to reopen. Drew?
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us there this morning in North Portland. Meanwhile, developing this morning, we're working to get more information about a large police presence overnight in Old Town. Portland police say earlier this morning a driver ran a stop sign that injured another person, and it's still not clear how severe those injuries are. We did reach out to Portland Police for more information, and we'll bring you any updates on the story once we get them. In a change of plans, the city of Lake Oswego will open Oswego Lake to the public for part of this holiday weekend. Now, originally, the city said it would cut off public access through Monday. Now, lake access will be closed all day today, but it will reopen tomorrow between noon and 8 p.m. Then it'll close again for 24 hours until opening back up at 8 o'clock Sunday night. All of this, by the way, does not impact homeowners who belong to the Lake Oswego Corporation.
On this vote, the yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
Well, all that's left now to approve the much talked about big, beautiful bill is a signature from President Trump, and that signing is expected to happen today. Democrats continue to blast the bill, criticizing cuts to social safety net programs in order to fund tax cuts and spending increases for the military and border security. But Republicans say it's really about cleaning up programs like Medicaid and SNAP benefits to eliminate waste and fraud. House Speaker Mike Johnson says concerns about people losing Medicaid and rural hospitals closing are, quote, far overblown.
I can tell you that this bill is going to be a great thing for everybody around the country, my constituents especially. What's good for Louisiana is good for America.
Democratic members of Congress from both Oregon and Washington have slammed the bill. That includes Congresswoman Andrea Salinas, who said in a statement, quote, "This bill will increase costs, strip away health care, take food off the table of working families, and increase energy costs for all Americans. And also," she says, "give tax breaks to large corporations and billionaires." We did reach out to Oregon Republican Cliff Bentz, who voted yes on the bill, but so far he says he doesn't have a comment. You can find more reaction to the spending bill in the online version of this story at KGW.com. All right, let's talk about some local spending here. ODOT says it will no longer pay the city of Portland to remove homeless camps from ODOT property that lies within city limits. So that basically means areas along the freeway that have long attracted tents and campers. As KGW's Evan Watson explains, this is part of the fallout from Oregon lawmakers failing to pass a new transportation spending package last month.
Portland leaders are expecting more tents and trash along major roadways. The Oregon Department of Transportation is cutting funding for camp removals on ODOT property, a concern to people like Michelle Taylor.
I get it, but it does keep the roads clear of garbage and trash and homeless people, so it's easier to get around.
ODOT was sending Portland $4 million per year to clear homeless camps and clean up areas near highways and bridges. The department says it's cutting the program because it no longer has the money. ODOT is also planning to announce major layoffs this month following Oregon lawmakers' failure to pass a major transportation funding package this session. Bear Treat is currently homeless, living in a campsite near I-405 in northwest Portland.
Almost 2 weeks. That's probably the longest I ever stayed anywhere, really.
He says he's less worried about the frequency of sweeps and more worried about how Portlanders will view homeless people if cleanups are cut, even if he takes responsibility for his belongings.
It kind of scares me because now it's going to look really bad on people like myself, you know. And no matter how much cleaning that I'm going to do, I know it's not going to cut it, you know.
Portland Mayor Keith Wilson criticized ODOT's decision to cut the partnership, saying it's a major blow to vital cleanup and camp removal efforts. The compounding impact of this service disruption will be more trash, more hazards, and more danger to both our unhoused and all those who rely on our critical transportation corridors. Then there's Danielle Mercia-Ruiz, a Housing First advocate who's okay with fewer sweeps in favor of more services.
I feel like cleaning up our highways is an important act, but when it comes to sweeps, I feel there's a level of inhumanity when there's not solutions afforded with that for adequate housing.
Treat says he'll step in if he notices more tents and trash in the months to come.
A group of people who would want to go out with me and clean up the streets and make sure, you know, everything looks somewhat decent, you know. I actually take a lot of pride in doing it. I think that's what I'll do.
Evan Watson, KGW News.
All right, before we get back to Rod and his 4th of July forecast, it's hard to argue, Rod, with this not being the best shot of the morning, the best sunrise shot of the morning. This is our Chehalem Tasting Room Skycam in Sherwood. The sun coming up. Skies look pretty. Weather seems comfortable, and the forecast throughout the rest of the day looks A-OK. What do you got for us, Rod?
I got nothing. You covered everything.
All right,
I got
on to
nothing.
traffic.
The clouds you saw in that shot, again, are from these storms that have been moving from south to north up across central and eastern areas of our state. You can see as some of the cloudiness is kind of migrating back over the Cascades, especially into the North Valley, and that's going to continue at times today. This has been one heck of a light show this morning. Last 30 minutes, the lightning ticker has 171 strikes have been detected. Most of those are in this area in Central Oregon that's moving near but staying just east of Bend, now nearing Madras just to the east. There have been fewer strikes moved through Burns and over into John Day, and there is expected to be a second wave this afternoon of storms come up through your area. Of course, the big concern is new fire starts. One of the big concerns, I should say, new fire starts from lightning. And with that said, there continues to be a red flag warning for high fire danger across parts of southern and southeastern Oregon. This does include northward up into parts of Baker County today, by the way. That's an addition from yesterday's area that was under the gun for high fire danger. Temperatures outside with the clouds and the storms, it didn't cool off out east. It's 60 in Pendleton, 57 in John Day and Bend, 63 in the Dalles. There was a little bit of rain up in Wasco County overnight. We are dry up and down I-5 and generally partly cloudy. Seattle 55. You do find more sun as you move south down toward Eugene because the clouds are kind of rotating up into the North Valley and southwest Washington today. Here's a look at this afternoon's map. Again, another round of stormy weather in areas of central and eastern Oregon. All dry, comfortable 70s here on the west side. One of our coolest July 4th in memory. The last handful of July 4th weekends have been hot with 90-degree temperatures. 75 today, partly cloudy, 79 tomorrow, maybe some early clouds. Otherwise, the weekend is sunny. The storm threat ends by midnight tonight, if not sooner, in east of the Cascades. All of Oregon will be dry and sunny both tomorrow and Sunday. As you look at the 7-day numbers, 84 on Sunday. Back to you.